Hey folks, welcome back to Northern Outlier. So that is the current lighting situation as it stands. Not very good. But let me tell you, today's a day. We are changing out all the fixtures in here. We are changing it up. The Dream Garage is getting the lighting upgrade that it deserves. I was just so sick and tired of trying to do something and you're squinting and working in shadows, so I had enough. We are changing all the lights. It's going to be so much brighter and so much nicer in here. So stick around as I walk you through the process, show you what I'm doing. But first of all, hit that like button, hit subscribe down below. Stay tuned, you won't regret it. So not exactly a mystery box by any means. I'm sure you can see what's on the box there, what we're dealing with. So these are the lights, high bay linear lights. Made by a company called Reno Lighting, but I bought them through a distributor, lumico.com or .ca. Bit of a pain in the butt to order. Placed 2 previous orders before I got these for different lights, and they were canceled. I guess they couldn't get the lights in, but this customer service was great, really helpful. Suggested this light. And then also knocked 30 bucks off. So they were supposed to be 130. I got them for 100 bucks a piece. Thank you, VR. That's the salesperson at Lumico. So yeah, thank you, VR. Much appreciated. So just to give you a little info on these lights, some of the selling features for me. So they have these little switches right here. That allow you to select the wattage and the color temperature, which is really neat. So you can set the wattage at 80, 110, or 135, and the color temperature you can set at 3500K, 4000K, or 5000K. And obviously with the ability to change the wattage, you're changing the lumen output. So you can make it brighter or not as bright. So for the 80 watts, you're looking at about 11,040 lumens. For 110 watts, 15,180 lumens. 135, you're looking at 18,630. So to compare that to the lights I installed in my previous shop, those were Hyperlight linear high bays, and those were about 21,000 lumens. So a little bit brighter than one of these, but I'm gonna have 4 of these in kind of a smaller, similar sized area. So I'm hoping they're not too bright, but again, I can always change the wattage on them and kind of tone them down a little bit. So that was a really nice selling feature, that selectability. The other thing with these is you can actually fold the wings or the panels. So that was another nice feature. I think when I install the ones closest to the long walls, I might actually leave it slightly folded up just so I get more light on the walls. But we'll see how it is. We'll get them wired in and see how it looks and then play around with it probably. So, but that's another nice selling feature, the foldability. They also work on varying voltages, so 120 up to 347, so they're pretty adaptable. But I'm gonna have 4 of these installed kind of in this half of the garage. I'll show you here. So I currently have a total of 6 ceramic light fixtures installed, and I've got LED bulbs screwed into them. They are approximately 1550 lumens each. So this is going to provide a lot more light. I'm just going to do the 4 that are closest to the main work area, and the 2 that are closest to the garage door, I'll switch those out at another point in time. Maybe I'll see how these lights, how they work, and I'll use either the same lights or I'll get something different. We'll see. So we're just focusing on these 4 fixtures right now. We'll get those done and we'll get the others done at another point in time. So, okay, so that's the linear high bay. yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We got 4 of them. We'll get those installed shortly. But we got another box. We got another mystery box, kind of. I feel like I need a drum roll. I feel like it's like Chevy Chase on National Lampoons when he's, he gets his whole family to do the drum roll. Anyways, I got, these are Barina T8 4-foot 5000K, 5000 lumens a piece lights, and they are going to be going under the overhead shelving, which will light the future workbenches as well as my beautiful, it's going to be a beautiful French cleat storage wall. So I got those. I thought they'd work really well. I was going to use floodlights, the floodlights I have plugged in, but I realized I was going to need quite a few of them. I also noticed it's a very uneven lighting. It's obviously more of a spotlight, so this is much more even. And then also wiring the floodlights, it was going to be like a mess of extension cords and plugs, and it was just going to be a bit of a nightmare. So these are really nice because of the options. You can hardwire them in. They come with plugs. You can just put a plug and then plug it into the wall. They join together. They actually plug directly together. And then if you don't want them right next to each other, there's also a cable that goes from one to the next one. So these were it was a better all-around fit. And I think I'm going to get a much more evenly distributed light. So that's what I went with. I got 6 of them right now. I'm probably going to need a few more to cover off the whole area for the under overhead shelves. But what we're going to do is we're probably going to start in the one side here, kind of work to the corner behind me, and then work down, and then we'll finish off that far end at another point in time. So that's enough chit chat, guys. Let's get to installing these. I know you've been waiting for that. So we're going to start with the Barinas. They're more straightforward, easy to do. The high bay lights, we're going to be dealing with the Angry Pixies, so we'll just warm ourselves up with these guys. So let's get to it. So for installing them, they give you these little clips. They give you a bunch of screws. Basically you just screw in the clip where you're going to put it. And then the light basically just clips right in to that clip. So super simple. We're going to get to it. We're going to start on this side of the workbench, work down to the corner. I might angle one into the corner, and then we'll start working along the other side here behind me. So let's get to it. So I'm ready to install the clips. I've gone and I've marked approximately where halfway is, and then I'm using my laser level just to shoot a line, just to keep it relatively straight while I work. Doesn't have to be exact, but it's up to you. I'm just doing this fairly quickly. I want it to be kind of straight, like look straight, but it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. So. So I'm plugging directly into the next one, so I'm using this little adapter. Super easy. So now that I'm down in the corner here, I'm going in the other direction and I'm just putting up those clips. So again, just screwing them in approximately in the center. I got that laser level set up so it's guiding me. Man, these little pieces of metal were sharp actually. So at one point I grabbed a set of pliers and just at the ends kind of turned them to make sure they were square. Yeah, anyways, got this done and then basically went back to the lights. Okay, so all the clips are in place. I'll show you here in a second what they look like. Now I got to put in the last 3 lights. So I'm at the corner. I'm going to be using one of those cables to connect the 2 together. And I'll have to kind of tie up the loose end and then just put in the other couple lights. I will finish off this side in a few weeks when I get a few more lights. But let's show you the clips right now just so you can see what they look like. So again, I'm using one of these cables. There's going to be a lot of extra slack. I'll have to kind of tie it up, but this is what you use to join the 2 together, especially in this case where I'm changing directions. So that plugs in. Plug it in on this end. So the lights are all up, all installed, ready to go, ready to test out. Super exciting. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do a little bit of a before and after comparison, show you what it looks like now with the floodlights. Then I'm gonna take those down and we'll turn them on and check out the new ones. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is the moment of truth. We're going to turn on the lights and see how they look. But I do have an issue. The one light is actually not on. It's not working. So I'd say that's a night and day difference. The one light obviously is not working. I've played around with it. I'm going to have to reach out to the company and see if I can get a replacement. So that's the one bad thing about these lights. Nothing's ever perfect, but yeah, so that one's not working, but still without that one, it's like a complete difference. It's amazing. This is great. Okay, so now that we got that done, those lights are up. It's time to install our linear high bay fixtures. So that's them again. So basically what I'm going to be doing is the first step is turning off the power. I can't stress that enough. Again, I'm not an electrician. I just want to make that clear. So turn off your power. I'm going to unhook these ceramic light fixtures, unwire them, and I'll be using basically 14-2 wire, armored wire to go between the box and the fixture. These fixtures are going to be hanging, so these hooks will go up into the truss. They're 24 inches on center. These are also close to 24 inches long. So it works out. The chain should hang perfectly down. I'm gonna try to use the shortest piece of cable possible. And I will be using these covers, so that'll cover the box. There's a clamp there, so the wire will be clamped there. It will also be clamped at the fixture. I will also be using a Wago style connector, so that right there, it's not a Wago, but it's what I could find to connect inside the ballast. So I figured that would be easier than wire nuts. Anyways, that's it, so let's get to it. So this is just a basic ceramic light fixture, just with a screw and bulb. I'm gonna go ahead right now, I'm gonna unscrew it, pull it down, we'll unwire it, and we'll get the next fixture up. Okay, so I forgot to hit record, but I've got all the wire nuts off, all the wires are separated. I went and I put a fresh ground wire in that's on the screw to the box. So I'll show you, I'll cut and show you kind of a close-up. I don't know if you can see it very well. But basically put that on, joined it with the other two grounds coming in, twisted them, put a wire nut on. So I just got the one ground which I'll hook up to the wire coming down to the fixture. So basically now I'm at the point where I'm ready to kind of start pigtailing together the wires for the armored cable that'll be going to the box. So I'm going to do that now, probably just time lapse it. It's kind of really hard to see what I'm doing, but once I do it I'll show you kind of a close-up and go over it. So yeah, we'll get to it. So I got my cable prepped. I'll have to show you that here in a second. Bit of a pain in the butt working with armored cable, but that's kind of what I'm going with. That might even be too much. I might have to kind of bend it out of the way or something. I want to get the fixtures tight to the ceiling as possible. Yeah, anyways, we'll get this pigtailed on, and yeah. Right now I'm just stripping the wire. Yeah, I might have to, I haven't done this in a while, so I might have to do it once and then kind of play around with it, maybe. So I start with the ground, and I gotta do a little bit of trimming before I can twist them together. This is the easiest part, the ground, the first one, so I'm getting it twisted together there. Once it's twisted, then I put on that wire nut to secure it in place. Then I move on to the neutrals, the white wires. So these ones and the hot wires were a little bit tricky, just because there was very little wire sticking out of the box. So very hard to work with. And then, you know, you're kind of reaching above your head as you're doing this, and it's just, yeah, I'm not an electrician, so trying my best, but a lot of playing around just to get them to kind of stay together, so that I could twist them and get them to stay to get that wire nut on. So finally I got them twisted together and get that wire nut secured. And then it's onto the hot wires. So this was the last group of wires, and at this point I've already struggled with those neutrals, but again, same kind of situation, just really short wires. And you're trying to get 3 of them to stay together and twist them. But once I got that done, you get that wire nut on, and basically the hard part's done. So you kind of fit them into the box, not jam them in, but just be careful. And then I get that cover plate on. So these cover plates are designed to fit over those octagonal boxes or ceiling boxes. So there's the 2 screws that line up. You just want to tighten those down. So that's what I'm doing here, just getting it secured, and then tightening up that clamp around the wire that's hanging down through the opening from the box. So getting that secured, and then basically it's onto the fixture. So we got it done. That was a bit of a pain in the butt. I hope it gets a little bit quicker, but it's up there. This is a little bit longer than I think I want, so I might try to trim it, I don't know. But maybe I'll get the fixture up and kind of wire it in and see how it is, see how it looks, and then go from there. Okay, so I put the chains up. I kind of had to shorten the hooks. Got the fixture. I'm going to get it up. I'm going to wire it up, see if it works. Actually, I might leave that till the end. But I just want to kind of get into position. I might have to cut this wire to kind of shorten it, but we'll see. We'll see. So I got 3 of these light fixtures done. I'm on the last one. I'm going to try to walk you through it a little bit better than that first one. It's kind of hard to show just because I get the camera up here, but try my best just for you guys. So always check that your power is off. So I got the old fixture down. I'm going to show you here in a second the wiring, what it looks like. I've basically just pigtailed together the grounds off the ground screw, and now I'm basically at the point where I need to attach a section of armored cable, basically pigtailing all the hots together, all the neutrals and the ground, and then from there it's more or less ready to go for the fixture. So I'll cut here and I'll show you the wiring, what it looks like before we do the pigtail. So you can see there's the 2 lines coming in there at the top of the box. So we got our 2 neutrals and our 2 hots and our grounds. The grounds are already all pigtailed together. I guess you could technically have pigtailed the other one onto that with 4 wires, but the wire nuts I have wouldn't handle 4 wires. So yeah, so basically that, and then I will have to pigtail on again to that ground, but that is what it looks like. So your 2 hots, your 2 neutrals, and your ground. So now that we're ready to pigtail on that wire, we are using 14-2 armored wire. We're going to go ahead and cut that section. I know that I need 7.5 inches of exposed wire between the box and the fixture. And then we'll just have our tag ends so we can do the wiring to the fixture in the box. So I'm going to show you how to cut that now. A bit of a pain in the butt, but you're going to learn a thing or two right now. So you want to use a hacksaw. Cut on about a 45-degree angle. I'm going to probably cut here for this tag end. So we'll go ahead. The key is not to go all the way through. Kind of just want to have it so you can crack it. So what I do is I just flip it over and do it on the exact same part on the other side. So now the key is to crack it. So you want to take your vice grips take your vice grips and another set of pliers. You just twist. You know you did a good job if you didn't cut through the paper. So that's how that's going to look. So again, I need 7.5 inches. So about there. Okay, so now that we got that wire prepped, the next thing you want to do before you can use it is you got to use these little red guys called anti-shorts or anti-short bushings, whatever you call them. They have to be sized for your wire, but they need to go in. I put them on before I take the paper off, and usually they fit in a little bit better, but they are kind of a pain in the butt to stick down. Anyways, I'll show you that here now. You wrap it around the wire. Again, I do it with the paper on. And then, I don't know if you can see that, but it has to like fit down within the metal. It's a bit of a pain. And it is a little tricky. I'm not very good at it. And honestly, I usually don't get it to sit flush most of the time. I think it's honestly just there to protect the actual wire from getting damaged by the metal edges. You can kind of monkey around with it for a bit, trying to get it to sit just right. If it doesn't, I don't know, it's probably not the end of the world, to be completely honest with you. And then I peel the paper back, and I just use scissors and I kind of cut it off close to the base. Yeah. So I don't know, it's a little rough, but that's what it is. So So you can see you prep on my kind of strip. Well, I don't know. I guess that might be too much. I might have to trim it, but half an inch or so off. We're gonna have 3 hots and 3 neutrals that we need to put together. I've already got the ground up there. It's all done and I've kind of stuffed it in. I usually stick it in first, kind of into the very top, try to get out of the way. So we'll do the other ones now, and then I'll show you how that goes. Okay, so you can kind of hopefully see it, but basically all the hots are wired, all the neutrals are wired, grounds are wired, so now it's just a matter of putting the cover plate on. So that's what we're going to do next. So that's my cover plate, and it's just got one of those clamps, saddle connectors, or whatever you want to call them. Just kind of fit it over. Okay, so now that we're ready to put the fixture up, we got to do a little bit of prep work. So I've gone and I've removed the plate on the top of the fixture. We're going to be hooking up our Wago connectors and getting those ready. So basically how these work is it's got like a little lever on it in 3 different spots, so we can connect both wires in there. And this just avoids using wire nuts. So I only do it in this case because it's a little bit tight once we get up there, and it's just quicker to kind of put that wire in there and then stuff it into the ballast. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that now, and then we'll get the chains prepped. You just kind of open it up, fit the wire all the way in, clamp her down. Basically 1 for each hot, neutral, and ground. Okay, so that's all good. Put one of these guys on. I like to use vice grips just to kind of tighten these guys up. Okay, so now we're prepping the chains. I don't need very much at all because I want it close to the ceiling. So I figured out on the other lights that I only need 2 sections, and I need to put the other hook on this one. So actually technically just 1. Kind of just open that up, squeeze it off. So there's 1. There you go. 2. So now that the fixture's up, I can do the wiring. So again, it's simple. You just kind of put those wires into the Wago connectors. I might have to do some trimming first, but then you're good to go. Okay, so all the fixtures are installed and everything's good to go. It's all wired in. I have a few adjustments I have to make on a couple of the fixtures, and then I kind of want to try to level them out. They don't need to be perfect, but I might just make a few adjustments, probably just put in the screw hooks or the whatever you call them, eye hooks, a little bit further just to kind of make them level. And I got to shorten the wire on one of them, but otherwise we're good to go. So here's the moment of truth. We're going to turn on the lights. We're going to see what it looks like. That's incredible. Incredible. Okay, so there you go. It is absolutely incredible in here. It is super bright. I just love this. Definitely what I wanted and what I needed. So those are just 4 of the fixtures. I got 2 more I still have to do at some point down the road. But the main work area is at the back and it is well lit. So I'm super pumped. It's absolutely awesome. So that's exactly what I wanted. And yeah, these lights are great. So 2 thumbs up to Reno Lighting. Great product, and yeah, definitely is going to make this place a little bit better for all the projects we got going on. So, well, there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it for you. Huge success today. We replaced the light fixtures and we really brightened this garage up. So from here on out, it's going to be better quality lighting for videos and for all the projects we got going on. So anyways, I hope you liked this video. Hit that like button, hit subscribe down below if you haven't already. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.